Libra, your weekly love tarot reading begins with a Five of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, a Five of Pentacles, and an Eight of Pentacles. Your person, Two of Wands, Six of Cups, Two of Swords, and a Four of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck for this reading, you have Death. Wow. All right. Well, hello and welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Chances are you're brand new to my channel and my readings. So each and every week I do a weekly love tarot outlook for all 12 signs. And in these outlooks, we always look at the other person in a particular connection that you have. So Libra this week, and again, these readings last for several weeks. This week, you have Death at the bottom of your deck. Ooh, and Five of Swords right behind it. A lot of bickering and arguing. Death is there. So in tarot, we don't talk about a literal death. We talk about a death of something, an end. We talk about the essence of death. The essence of death is that something comes to an end in the state that it currently is. It's not to say that it doesn't resurrect or reinvent or reincarnate, but in the state that it is, it's over. And so there's a huge transformation coming in Libra. So we look at your energy, how you see each other, how you see the relationship and possible outcomes, and we will definitely be pulling some clarifiers. So let's jump right into your reading, Libra. We have Five of Cups. Ooh. Sadness and sorrow. There's some regret here. You, Five of Cups, your person, Two of Wands. There's really some regret, a feeling, and more than even the regret, just this like unshakable feeling of not being able to stop thinking about somebody, thinking about a situation, thinking about something that's changed and ended, and you missed the hell out of it, right? Two of Wands for your person. Your person this week is deciding to move forward in a very heavy way, in a very dynamic way. Two of Wands is Mars in Aries energy. So this week is a week where the individual in this particular love connection is driving forward, especially on a particular idea or passion, driving forward specifically on something they deeply, deeply desire, that they've been inspired to sort of work on, follow the path of. So now is when we begin to get into some clarifiers, because I need to know a little bit more here. This Five of Cups, what is it that you're missing? Why are you so sad, Libra? Why are you so sad? And for your person, what the hell are they running after? That with all of this energy, look at the cards. Well, you can't see them off screen, but they're jumping everywhere. Yeah, I want to know more. So first of all, let's jump into Five of Cups for my lovely Libras. What's going on? Why do you miss them? What do you miss? What's, the sadness I feel here. It's just like almost like a completely missed opportunity. Let's see. Page of Swords and Ace of Swords. Wow. A whole new understanding has come in for you, Libra. Messages. Some of you have absolutely gotten messages or gossip. You may have had friends who have come in and told you about something that is going on. Could very well be, this person in this love connection is making moves. They're making moves. Their life is moving forward. And the information that you're getting from people around conversations, it's like they have a victory, and there's an understanding as well. I think there's some kind of clarity that's come in for you, Libra, about this connection with this person that's kind of brought you all the way back to what went on between the two of you and how regretful you are. What's going on with your person? Yep, and there it is, Six of Swords and the Fool. So this is definitely about a person in your past, someone who you broke up with, or they broke up with you. You broke up, okay? You two are no longer together. And I think that you regret it on such a profound level. This person went away. They were like, okay, things aren't going right with us. I'm going to go away. I'm going to go take care of myself. I'm going to start a whole new life. I'm ready for it, and yeah, sometimes, you break up, you split up for whatever reason. It feels here like Libra, it just feels here like your person is off on this adventure and you just miss them and you want to be on this adventure with them. And it just feels strongly like perhaps everything was fine for you with you, right? You're going on with your life and everything too, but specifically more recently, the conversations that have come in, the information, the news. Some of you may have gotten emails, texts. You may have just been speaking to a friend. People may be simply gossiping around you, right? But whatever the case is, it just feels like recently the information that you're getting is giving you such a clearer picture of who this person truly is, what they're capable of, and what they're doing with their life. And it just hits you really, really hard. Like, oh my God, did I miss out? Did I miss out? So, did I miss out? I'm not saying it's your fault you broke up. Somehow this relationship is definitely, this is a person that you're no longer with right now, for sure. You're missing them. They went away. But it's like, it does feel very much like two ships in a night now. How do you see each other? Well, you see them as the Seven of Pentacles. They see you as the Six of Cups. And this is sweet energy. I'm going to come to them first. You have history with this person, Libra. There's a sweet, deep sense of affection. Six of Cups energy is what they see when they see you. So it's almost as if like there isn't any hard feelings here. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like this was a toxic situation where both of you were like so happy to see the back of each other. It just feels like one of those relationships that just didn't work out for one reason or another. Now, there may have been, of course, hurt feelings there. And the reason one person may have left the other person, I almost feel like, Libra, you're the one who left, okay? I'm going to be honest. I almost feel like you're the one who left them. You're the one who sort of left the relationship because perhaps at the time it wasn't serving you. At the time it wasn't what you needed or what you wanted. But there's a feeling not only of loss here, but there's a feeling a little bit of regret of like, hindsight is 2020. Perhaps when you were with them, you didn't have a good view of how your future would turn out. Nevertheless, that energy I do feel there. And so that's fueling some of this sadness. But your person sees you and they still have great affection for you. They still consider you a friend. They consider you somebody who's important to their life. Somebody, they have fond memories, I'm going to say, and fond feelings. But, that's also easy to have when your life is on the up and up. And right now, it feels very much like your person is just about to start an adventure. For you, though, you see them as the Seven of Pentacles right now. So you see how well they're doing. You see how well their garden is growing. You see how well they're tending to themselves and their life and their health. And right now, it seems to me, Libra, that you are keenly aware that this person is about their business. This person is, firmly about their business and taking care of their business and being invested and taking the time and just being just very, very present. I love that Seven of Pentacles energy, that farmer energy, that day-to-day labor and the love of that labor and the consistency and the focus and all of that is what you're seeing. And it could very well be, Libra. Well, here, let's go deeper. I do feel like I said earlier, Libra, some of you may have left this person because there may have been a time when they weren't doing that. There may have been a time where it seemed like they weren't doing well. Maybe they were out of shape. Maybe they were out of a job. Maybe they just weren't looking well or feeling well or doing well financially. And it just seemed like, do I really want to, hitch my cart to this, horse that's like not moving, right? But now it's like a full turnaround. So show me some more about Libra and what they see in this person. Wow. Eight of Cups. And a Queen of Wands. Well, there you go. Right? You can see very clearly that this individual had to leave, or you had to leave. Somebody had to leave for them to grow up and get their shit together. And it feels very much like perhaps, Libra, you leaving, and certainly in your mind, I think, maybe you see this, that, when you see them, you can see that either you leaving them or turning away from them in some way was necessary. For some of you, you both mutually broke up, but in either case, it's this separation, I feel like, is what you're seeing here, right? You're seeing that as a result of this split, as a result of this intentional desire to move on, let me move all these cards over, the intentional desire to move on, necessary shadow work was completed, right? And so now you see your person as resilient, strong, fiery, dynamic. Queen of Wands, whoo, she has been through the fire, right? And she comes out stronger. So this is what I'm trying to get at here, Libra. It almost feels as though you remember this person when they were in a very difficult place in their life, I feel like. A place where some of you Libras had to walk away, right? Some of you Libras either had to walk away or you chose to walk away, or whatever. There's no, there's no judgment on that at all, right? You made the right decision for yourself, I'm sure, at the time. However, now you firmly can see how strong they are and how well they came through that period, and how just whether it had to do with you leaving or not, it's just like they just come across as such a damn survivor, and I think that is tied into this feeling here. Some of you may have written this person off at some point, and them having survived and now thriving and moving on, it's making you feel some kind of way about that write-off. Six of Cups, show me more. Three of Pentacles and a Page of Pentacles. Interesting. So when we take a look at your person and how, what deeper energy they see when they see you, got Three of Pentacles and a Page of Pentacles. It's interesting because they see you may indeed be the type of individual who works well with others. You may have a job that is involved with other people, that involves people paying attention to you or coming to you for your expertise. And then you have the Page of Pentacles. So there's a feeling here of them kind of like seeing that you're, how shall I put it? That you're doing well. You still, you still have your practice or your job or whatever it is you do, you're still doing that. You're still ticking over. You're still working with people. Like, it feels very much like when they see you in a very fond way. Like, hey, we had something. You may have even been very good friends before you had this relationship that is, that ended. But it's like they see you through the lens of a friend. They see you through the lens of a friend who is happy that you're doing well and that you're just, that your life continues to be the way it was. There's a feeling here of not much has changed per se. And that's not, you know what I mean? They are the ones who are kind of off on another adventure right now. Okay. They're the ones, they may be traveling energy. They may be traveling. They may be, off on some crazy adventure with a new lover. Again, remember, they're coming in a week with that Mars and Aries energy. They are about to conquer some new go on with conquering this new territory in their life. And so when they see you, they're really not thinking about the relationship or how they've survived or anything like that, because that's not what's associated with their memory of you. They just kind of see you, and they see you have this place in their life that is a special place, but it's there, and they're now here. What can I say? It's not bad feelings at all. In fact, it's very nice and deep, affectionate feelings. I think that for some of you, if you're resonating with this reading, Libra, I don't think that it's so much you were so in love with this person. I think that this next period, this connection, again, this is a love reading. And sometimes love readings are about the way the end of a relationship or what an ex-lover is going through now, how it is affecting your life and how it may be impacting some understandings. This reading is very much about you, Libra. It's very much about how you feel about yourself, how you feel about yourself in this relationship, how you feel about where you're at now with, without this person and how it all ended. You see what I'm saying? It's really not very much about them. And I think that this is like just a realization about yourself, understanding certain realizations about yourself, your motivations, where you were at before and where you're at now. It could very well be that just seeing this person kind of start this whole new chapter in their life. Yes, you miss and you there's a feeling of longing and missing here, but it could very well be that they're just triggering a bit of dissatisfaction in you about where you're at in your life right now. So as I say, this doesn't feel at all very much about the two of you, or you necessarily even wanting to be with this person again, or coming back to this person, or wanting them back. It really doesn't feel like it's about this at all. It just feels like the change that's happened in your person is triggering you right now to really be reflective about your own life and your own sort of path and where you're going, where you've been, where you're going, where you want to go. How do you both see this relationship? Here it gets a little interesting for you. 5 of Pentacles, for them 2 of Swords. So you see this relationship as like a period in your life perhaps where you didn't do very well, where the relationship was a drain instead of a gain, right? Where you perhaps weren't doing so well, right? They see a 2 of Swords, a decision. I'm going to come back to them, but this is interesting that you see this relationship or your role in it. It could very well be that you may have also, when the 2 of you were together, or in fact, I'm going to say, let's bring it fast forward. Let's not think about when you were together, because this reading is about right now. And as I say, it's about you. Right now, this is how you see it. I think for some of you, this relationship or this connection that you had with this person is making you feel quite like you're not where you want to be right now. You know? You're not where you want to be right now. It's like, it's just one of these situations, Libra, where it feels like for a long time you felt like you were ahead of this person to a certain degree. Ahead in life, ahead in health, ahead in wealth, ahead, like, and not that you were judging them in any way. I'm not saying that, but you just felt like, if you were look at their life and look at your life, you're doing pretty good. It feels like it's been a 180-degree turnaround. And now that you see kind of the changes they've gone through, Queen of Wands, all of this, the traveling, the forward motion, all of that, it seems as though you don't feel like that anymore. Now you're starting to feel like, hang on a second, their life is up here and over there, and my life is now, and me and my life and what I'm doing, it's not looking so hot compared to what they're doing. So there's a lot of comparing here. And that's what it feels like right now. What wanted to pop out? Hanged Man, holding on to a particular perception that doesn't serve you anymore. 10 of Wands. Okay. So here we get to it. Libra, you may have been indeed carrying some things around with you that has hampered, your forward progression, your insistence on holding on to a particular viewpoint of the world and yourself and how you fit into it. Hanged Man can be frozen sometimes in his outlook, right? For various reasons. But in this situation, I think that here I feel strongly, Libra, like you very stubbornly held on to a particular view, particular sort of mindset about yourself, about the world, about how you fit in the world and who you are in this world. And I think that right now there's been a huge sort of like disruption to that. That mindset, in fact, has kept you held back in a lot of ways. And I think that this is the wake-up call, because Hanged Man also has, he also wakes up, you see that halo of inspiration and sort of enlightenment around his head. There is a time that the Hanged Man gets to, a place where he gets to, he or she, where they realize they have this kind of epiphany. The Hanged Man is also the card for epiphanies, right? And this epiphany of, how their outlook and their stubborn holding on to a certain way of life, how it's actually really held them back here. Libra, this is what you're feeling, like how it's really held you back, right? How, in fact, you've been putting obstacles in your way. When you thought you were doing great and you were free and unbound, you're realizing how bound you have been, because you're starting to see the confines of your outlook, comparing yourself to your person. They come in with Two of Swords. They see this relationship as a choice, or their role in it, as if they've had to choose. I think this may be also an interesting crux of this connection. Like, let's go deeper. It almost feels as though like they see this relationship as something. Two cards flipped over. There you go. And I'm going to keep those. Eight of Swords and a Ten of Cups. A choice. Yeah. A choice between being sort of like confined, pressured. Eight of Swords is very toxic kind of victim. It can be very toxic victim energy, but it begins from surrounding yourself with people who are very crushing to your mind and your soul, who don't allow you to think for yourself or act for yourself. And eventually you become, this creature. But it's interesting. They see this relationship or being with you as a choice between that or happiness. It's that simple. And I don't think they blame you for it, because when we come back to the Six of Cups, Libra, it feels as though you're dealing with somebody who does have, yes, they have fond memories of being with you. Again, you may have known each other for a very long time. You may have known each other for a long time before you actually got into a relationship with each other. So they accept who you are. Right now that there's distance, they accept all those things, but they absolutely see that any kind of connection or relationship with you two being together, for them was a choice between being completely restricted and feeling like their power was feeling powerless to a certain degree, and complete and utter happiness. Ten of Cups, Ten of Wands. Very interesting reading, Libra. Let's go into your final outlook. We have Eight of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles energy. Yeah, for you, Libra, you put your head down and you get to work. Because ultimately I do, as I said, this doesn't feel like you're longing for this person, or, you can't stop thinking about the relationship, but it's much more to do with your decisions in the relationship than anything. And so I think you have this epiphany, you have this wake-up call, and you really get to work on yourself and your life and your desires. You realize, hang on a second, I'm just comparing, and maybe I've dropped the ball for a little while, but I'm picking it right up. Your person dealing with that Four of Pentacles, they are very much kind of holding on to the security that they have built up so far and established. They again, it does feel like your person's been through a lot, and they realize that. And right now, moving forward, all they really care about is maintaining their stability. So it's interesting. This is a love reading, but I'm going to say that this person is much more of a friend now. Again, there's no animosity here. There's no bad feelings or ill will or jealousy or hatefulness or anything like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This is much more about a person in your life that you had a connection with, where during that connection, or perhaps just after leaving that connection, or that connection breaking down, your life was at a certain high, I feel like. And this person perhaps wasn't, and things just have kind of role reversaled. And because this person is connected to you, I don't think a lot of things would penetrate that outlook. And I'm not necessarily sure that friends could come in and tell you, hey, Libra, you need to, tighten up the screws, or, but seeing this person not suddenly, but seeing this person resonate up to such a nice, exciting new level and chapter in their life, I think that was what you needed here for it to sort of pierce this insistence, pierce this sort of marble-like outlook, just steadfast, realizing that perhaps there's room for growth. Let's begin to pull out your zodiac runes, see what kind of signs you're dealing with. Some of you are dealing with a Gemini. Sorry about shaking that camera like that. Some of you dealing with your other sister sign, Aquarius. Wow. So all the airs in the house. And then some of you are dealing with that lovely Pisces. Okay, sign of the fish, water sign, beautiful. Gemini, Aquarius, Pisces. You may not be dealing with those individuals. They may not, or may not have those energies in their chart. You may or may not have those energies in your chart. Let me cover all the caveats. Libra, thank you so much. You want to go deeper? You want to check out your animal spirits? You want to check out the oracles? You can go ahead and visit me in the extended. In the extended, it's much more pulling out a lot more cards and getting right down to some specifics. And so if you want to join me there, go ahead and follow the link at the bottom of this video, at the top of the description. Other than that, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure you're brand new to my channel, as I said before, and I thank you so much for taking the time out to see this reading, and welcome to the Bow and Arrow Tarot Collective. But Libra cross watchers, I wish you all love, life, and happiness, and I hope to see you right back here for your next tarot reading. Bye-bye now.